Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another reloading shot. So I'm going to load a little bit of 9mm, and I'm going to talk to you guys about one of the worst ideas I see floating around on social media on how to deal with these Syrian refugees. And that is this idea I keep seeing popping up of, hey, all these fighting age males, they need to be over there fighting. They don't need to be coming over here as refugees. Let's take the ones that are coming over here. Let's have our army train them. Let's arm them and send them over to fight ISIS for us. Well, the problem is, guys, we've done this before, and it ended horrifically for us more than once, and I'm going to go into the details in a minute. I'm going to go into the details on that. But first, you need to understand, just because ISIS is in Syria, and we consider ISIS to be the biggest current radical Islamic terrorism threat, and just because ISIS is killing a lot of the regular civilians in Syria, doesn't mean that Syria itself doesn't have a large radicalized population already. That's your problem. We're talking about the good guys in Syria. Who the hell are the good guys in Syria? Just because ISIS are the really bad guys doesn't mean that the other Syrians aren't also bad guys. It's just the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils. You are dealing with a culture and a country in which the majority are fundamentalist and they're radicalized. Now, it doesn't mean they're terrorists automatically, but it means they have the potential to become terrorists with a very small jump. It's not a big leap for them to do so once they're radicalized already. That's what you're dealing with the Syrian population. So we are bringing radicals over no matter what. Probably well over half of the people that we're bringing over are radicalized. Over half of them are definitely going to be fundamentalist. That's a problem. In addition to the ISIS sleepers that come in, which ISIS has already said they're going to do. So you see the problem there. We're going to train a bunch of people who are radicalized, who are one step away from being terrorists, like ISIS is now, one step away from being terrorists. We're going to train them and arm them. Let's talk about when we did that before. Anyone remember the Mujahideen in Afghanistan? We were fighting the Cold War with Russia, and Russia was in Afghanistan, and we wanted to push them out. We wanted to push them out. So we took this group there, this jihadist rebel group called the Mujahideen, and we trained them. We sent over the CIA and we sent over special forces teams. They trained them in organization skills. We taught them how to organize. We taught them how to use technology. We taught them guerrilla warfare. We taught them special forces type guerrilla warfare, and we taught them to be terrorists so that they could wage a war of guerrilla warfare and terror against the Russians. And they kicked the Russians' asses. All right, this was an effective method. My God, was it effective. We used radical Islamic terrorists to fight the Russians, and it worked. We had took a group that already had the tendencies and already had the motivation because they believed that God wanted them to do this. And we gave them special forces training and CIA training. And they beat the Russians back. They gave them hell. Well, that group also had another name that came out of some of the words we used over there for them. And it even appeared way back then. And they had a leader who we invested a huge amount of resources in. He was already a wealthy, radicalized person with a lot of connections. So our government, Uncle Sam went ahead and put a lot of money into him, trained him especially well. Named by the man by the name of Osama bin Laden. And this is all declassified. This is publicly available for anyone who doesn't know this. And the Mujahideen also came to be known as Al-Qaeda, which means, I believe it means the database. It became one of the most powerful terrorist groups in the Middle East. Osama bin Laden became probably the single most powerful jihadist terrorist leader in the world. All right? We did that, and then they turned on us. They did 9/11. They flew those jets into those buildings and killed 5,000 of our people. They tried to take out the Pentagon, and they tried to take out the White House. They failed on those. But they took those towers down. And you know what? that came around and bit us in the ass. You know what? That wasn't even the end of the Mujahideen. There is a Afghanistan immigrant from Afghanistan, an old man. Actually has his own YouTube channel, if I understand, who claims that he was a Mujahideen fighter. He's over here in America now, in Florida. Who claims to have been a Mujahideen fighter. His last name is Mateen, and he had a son named Omar. This is the same Al-Qaeda that we trained, the same Mujahideen that we trained to do all that. This guy comes over here. Didn't necessarily join Al-Qaeda per se, but he claims to have been Mujahideen back in that time. Raises a son who manages to get all sorts of clearance and becomes a defense contractor for a security contractor here in the U.S. Comes up one day here last year and walks into a nightclub in Orlando and shoots 103 people with a 5.56 NATO Sig Sauer modular rifle. Kills 50 people and wounds 53 more. Same Mujahideen we trained his father. Suppose he claims to have been one of them. Trained his father. And there's your next generation. So when we start talking about, oh, let's take these guys and let's train them. Are you people out of your mind? The last time we took a group of radicalized Muslims and we trained them to be really, really good at killing and guerrilla warfare, that we could beat another enemy of ours in the Middle East, look what happened. Look what the hell happened. And you want to do that again? Are you people insane? Are you insane? These are radicalized extremists. Their country and culture are mostly radicalized extremists. No, I think we need to be turning them away. We need to be turning them away. And the ones that show up, we need to be screening the males, and we need to be vetting them to see if they are actually terrorists or not. And if they are, we need to execute them. Don't send them back. We send them back, they're going to fight our people over there. No, you don't send them back. You screen them and you kill, you execute the dangerous ones, and then you send the rest back. We don't need any of them in our country. And we sure as hell do not need to be training them. I mean, have we not learned our lesson? I mean, look what happened. Look what happened when we used radicalized Muslims and trained them to be warriors and terrorists. Look what happened. Look what they did in New York. Look what one of their sons did in Florida. You see the death toll that they got? This is a couple dozen men killed 5,000 of our people. 2 dozen men. 5,000 of our citizens dead. Billions in carnage. All right, they hurt us. All because we trained them. We actually taught them to be good at what they do, and we taught them how to organize and create networks, and they do that. One of the other guys we may have trained, appear to have trained, he claims we trained, comes over, raises a son, teaches his son whatever, and he walks in and kills 50 of our citizens by himself and wounds 53 more. And people want to train them again? They want to train more of these people? You want to teach them to be good at killing? Because ISIS sucks at killing. When any of our guys engage ISIS, when we fight ISIS, we kill them several to one. They suck because they didn't get the training that we gave Al-Qaeda. Do you want to do this again so we can go over and train these Syrians and they can form their own terrorist group and teach everything that we taught them to others and form a whole network, and then we'll get a whole new terrorist group that's going to hit us later? No, we don't need to be teaching anyone from these Islamic countries anything about warfare. We don't need to be selling them any weapons. To hell with all of them. It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. It is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. And if we do this, any such nonsense, it'll probably come back around and bite us in the ass like it does every single time. Every one of these people that we train or arm over there are eventually going to turn on us. We take that risk every single time. And it hurt us pretty damn bad this last time. I don't think we need to be doing any training or any arming over there in the Middle East anymore. Not at all. Not in any of these Islamic countries. None. Because the last thing they need to learn how to do is be better at killing people and being terrorists and waging guerrilla warfare. That's the last thing that any of them need. But you know what? That's just my opinion. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.